What is going on, YouTube, or wherever you're listening to podcasts? Welcome back to the Binkz and Doodle Effect, presented to you by Lividity and Lividity Gaming. I am one of your hosts, Binkz, and as always, next to me, my co-host, Mr. DrewskiDoodles. How are you this week, Andrew?
Hello, I'm wonderful. The Rangers got a W.
It's a rare occasion nowadays, right?
Apparently.
They are struggling. They are struggling. Before we get into anything, as usual, we're going to do a quick shout out to our sponsor, Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy is a premium energy and focus supplement designed to optimize your mental and physical performance. Unlike unhealthy canned energy drinks, this powerful supplement can be taken daily for overall improved performance. Filled with vitamins, amino acids, it's a healthy way to increase your natural energy. I personally use it as like a pre-workout. I've been doing it before I've been working out every single day, and I have been grinding the weights. It's been great, and it's not even like an actual pre-workout. It's just been something that gives me energy naturally with all the vitamins and everything. So if you use the code GETLIVID on the bottom of the screen, you'll get 5% off your entire purchase. Recommend the starter pack. You're going to get a bunch of different flavors that you can choose from on top of an actual shaker cup. They got a bunch of different cool shaker cups that you can choose from. Really cool deal. Get Livid, 5% off your entire purchase. Check it out. Really awesome, really dope. But going forward with the MLB, we have a few things with the New York Mets. As you can see, I got my little McNeil t-shirt on.
FA.
We got a new GM for the New York Mets. We got Zach Scott. I don't really know too much about him, Andrew. I don't know if you have really any details on him, if he has any background. I really didn't do much research on him, but...
Yeah, I don't really know. I think the only reason, you know how they said they weren't gonna hire a new one? So I think the only reason they did was to get Trevor Bauer more interested, because Trevor Bauer has said, because he's been super transparent with the free agency thing, that he wants to be able to build a relationship with his management, and it would be tough if the Mets don't have a general manager. So I do think that plays into that. Plus, then you had Steven Matz getting traded. So I do think that this was all just to coax him to come to Queens even more.
Well, so typically, rule of thumb, if you guys have been following the Binkz and Doodle Effect, every major announcement sport-wise comes the day we post. We record on a Tuesday. We post every Wednesday at 3 p.m. And typically speaking, at some point during Wednesday, we have a major news announcement that would be a huge topic to talk about on the Binkz and Doodle Effect. And it's without fail every single week. We're not, literally every week. So if we're supposed to get Trevor Bauer, I'm going to say tomorrow is going to be the day, right?
Yeah, so something's going to happen tomorrow. Something's going to happen.
I do hope to get Trevor Bauer. I'm kind of sad to see Max go. I mean, he grew up.
The thing about him was, like, I always rooted for him. But he was always mediocre at best. Like his debut was awesome. He had highlights of really nice showings, but most of the time he was just mediocre, which kind of what sucked because I liked him.
Yeah, he was. I like the homegrown type of players.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of Met pitchers, though, Jacob deGrom voted best pitcher by the MLB Network. I mean, that goes without saying. I don't care that he didn't.
Raise your hand if you're shocked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care that he didn't win the Cy Young. He's the best pitcher in baseball. You can't even argue with me with that. He's the best pitcher in baseball. I don't care.
It's going to be that way for a couple years.
We have an Arenado. That trade, you want to go into detail on that one, Andrew?
The Cardinals just got 10 billion times better. So the Mets were linked with the Arenado trade for months, even though it wasn't like there was never too much steam behind it. But what always made me laugh was Mets fans that didn't want him because they're like, oh, his splits away from Coors Field suck. I don't care. One, he's without question the best defensive third baseman he's probably one of the best fielders in baseball. I'm afraid of the Cardinals. That's huge for them. I really am. And I think it also shows how awful the management of Colorado is. The fact that you couldn't look at the Rockies' previous roster. You had Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story on the same team. You also had Charlie Blackmon. How do you not build a contender around those three guys? Those three guys absolutely mash baseballs. And I'm just happy I'm not a Rockies fan. That's what I'll say.
Just be happy you're a Met fan until the season starts.
Until 3 games into the season.
Reminds me of that Family Guy episode. Opening day at Shea Stadium. And the season's over. And the season's over.
Not this year. Not happening this year.
Speaking of now the Mets, we have an ex-Met manager who I hated since signing. I never liked Mickey Callaway ever, but he is now booted off the Angels for pretty much the same reason we had our GM go down with.
Yeah.
Harassing, what do you say, 5 women, Andrew?
Yeah, it was something like 5. It was around that number.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on, Callaway.
What is with these people? What is with these managers in sports and this crap? Why?
You're in the public spotlight. You don't think that anything you do isn't gonna come out? You think that your life is has any sort of secrecy to it? If you're in the public spotlight, it's over. You have no secrets. You do one thing wrong. You look at someone the wrong way, and it's gonna be online.
Yeah.
In the age that we're in. I mean, you got to be so careful with everything that you do. I just can't fathom the stupidity of someone thinking that, hey, I'm going to hit on this chick. And, if she says no, I'm still hit on this chick. You're dumb. You're dumb. He was a terrible manager. He was a terrible person.
He's garbage.
He was garbage.
Yeah,
so,
he didn't really deserve a job.
Honestly, the Angels benefit from this.
Yeah.
Get him away from the organization. The Angels just benefited from getting rid of Callaway.
100%. He was so bad as the Mets manager, man. Visible anger would come from me from this guy. If it wasn't for, if he was still here, he's not nearly as bad as Adam Gase was, but he'd be the second to worst manager in New York.
It's hard. It's hard to be worse than Adam Gase. It really is.
It is.
I don't think you can be as bad. I mean, going into hockey, I don't think Dan Quinn is a good coach at all. I am not one on him at all.
So
all for the Rangers.
Here's the thing with David Quinn. He's good for the veterans. He's bad for the rookies. He doesn't play. He doesn't put enough trust in his rookies right away. He goes for the slow development, which if you're developing a later round draft pick, I think is better. But he's developing a second overall pick and a first overall pick. You need to give them ice time. That's why Jack Hughes is demolishing Capo Caco in points this year because he's also double the ice time because Lindy Ruff actually plays Jack Hughes. And also what I don't agree with is him sticking with this alternating goaltender situation. It's almost like what the Jets, I think it was the Jets did a couple years ago. They kept going back and forth with quarterbacks. You need to let one stay in, let one get hot. Shesterkin had a great game yesterday, so he better start on Thursday.
Yeah, I don't agree with the committee.
He's on a short leash. He's on a short leash with me. Then you had this whole other situation with friggin' Tony D'Angelo, the locker room tumor that he is. So Tony D'Angelo, he's 26. He's been in the league a little while, and pretty much every team he's ever been on, people have complained about him in the locker room. Always. And I mean, I don't have, and half of it is I don't have a problem with athletes or really anybody speaking their mind about anything on Twitter, whatever. But this dude was literally challenging fans to fights on Twitter. Oh my god. So I think that was part of it. Super head case. And now this was never proven true, but I think this is part of it. That D'Angelo deleted his Twitter right before the season started, and then randomly, this Twitter account with a Ranger logo as its icon, and the name was NYR fan, then 6 random ass digits, would just reply to people who were bashing on D'Angelo, defending Tony D'Angelo. And then the other interesting part is that when the Rangers were in Pittsburgh, somebody sent him one of those links that if they click on it, you can trace their IP address. The IP address went to Pittsburgh. So there's a whole thing about this possibly being a Tony D'Angelo burner account. So that definitely didn't help. If they found that out, they won't say it, obviously, but I think it is. Unless that was, oh my god, that's hysterical. And then the straw that broke the camel's back, after their overtime loss against the Penguins, the Penguins, whoever they played, apparently D'Angelo said something to Georgiev after giving up what was honestly a soft goal in overtime. But when you're Tony D'Angelo and you were scratched for 2 games, you have 1 point on the season, and you're a -7, you don't really have the right to say something to your goaltender. So apparently it spilled into the locker room, and Georgiev, they say it was Georgiev, socked him right in the face.
Good for him.
And there's
I respect that.
I love Georgiev so much for that. And then there's whole other reports of just other things of him just being an awful teammate. And what happens? Go ahead.
I was gonna say if you're gonna talk the talk, at least walk the walk. You can't. Don't open your mouth if you have 1 point and you're -7 on the season.
Yeah, awful. And among other things, the Rangers put him on waivers. He clears waivers, which is no surprise. And now the Rangers are going to try and trade him somewhere. But look what happens. The first game D'Angelo is not in the lineup, they win, and they only give up 1 goal. It shows a lot. This dude is an absolute head case. And I'm so happy to see him go. So that's fun. Beyond that,
on positive news though for the Rangers, after that little, I love it.
Yeah.
I love a nice doodle rant. You get so passionate. I absolutely love it. But on a nice little positive Ranger news, we got Lafrenière, first goal of his career, had it in overtime, and I don't know if you know this, Andrew, but that is the first time since Matt Zuccarello that first goal was
in 2011. Yep,
first goal was in overtime. So I was a big Zook fan, and if he turns out like anything like Zook, it's gonna be a great.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem. He's gonna be. He's supposed to be way more than what Zuccarello was. Yeah, great goal. It was a great play, honestly. And then a big shout out to Colin Blackwell getting called up from the taxi squad and playing a tremendous game. And I will say that game in overtime did make me see David Quinn in a more positive light, because in overtime he put out 2 rookies and Colin Blackwell. The players on the ice during that goal were Lafrenière, Blackwell, and Keandre Miller. And Keandre Miller has been an absolute beast. He's one of the best players on the team. So I do love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, so that's what's happening there. And then more recent, apparently the Devils have been infected with COVID. Their games through Saturday postponed because 10 players are on the COVID list. And of course, the Rangers are supposed to play them on Saturday, so I have to go from Thursday till like Tuesday with no Ranger games.
Good job, boys.
So
Good job.
I'm going to jump off a cliff. Maybe that'll cool them down, because the Devils are uncontrollably hot right now, and I hate it. But yeah, let's just hope they keep it under control and hockey doesn't get more messed up.
Regardless of the Devils being hot or not, I mean, the Rangers still have to get their act together. They are just they need to string some wins along. I mean, you can't be taking this many losses on a shortened season. It's not like you have the full season that you usually do to kind of bounce back and kind of get hot. You need the Rangers need to start, snowballing into a bunch of wins.
And I think they will.
Hopefully they can. I mean, going back to Lafreniere's first goal, I mean, huge goal for him.
Getting number one, getting it out of the way.
You broke the ice. The pressure's off of you now. Now you can. I feel like you could skate a little bit more freely, because now you know you have your first goal. Let me play hockey now. I mean,
exactly.
Not having your first goal in this many games, it's probably putting a lot on him. It definitely weighs on him. So I'm hoping this loosens him up. Yeah. And he can, start, playing a little bit more freely. I don't expect him to be this, all-star first year.
No, he's not going to be McDavid year 1.
No, year 3, more than likely, he'll probably become the star. I mean, you'll have your sophomore slump, as most rookies usually have, but we'll see. I'm hoping...
We don't have... It was good. All of our rookies have scored now. Keandre Miller scored his first the other day. Then you have... I just said this to my mom the other day. Adam Fox is a top 5 defenseman in hockey, and I am calling it right now that number 23 will be raised in the MSG rafters in about 15 years.
Wow. Okay.
He is unreal.
Hot take.
The plays he has only played 60 games, and the plays he's making are insane.
Hot take.
So keep that in mind 15 years from now.
All right. When we're still doing the Binkz and Doodle effect in 15 years, we're going to come back to this video, and if it's not raised, then Drew owes me another beer.
All right, fine. Deal.
Moving over to football. We got a couple of days before the Super Bowl. We'll touch on that real quick. But the biggest news in the NFL, Matt Stafford and Goff. Okay, big trade, first of all.
Yeah, huge.
Detroit 100% won that trade.
I agree with you.
Detroit got a 2022 first rounder, a 2023 first rounder, 2021 third rounder, and Goff. Not a good quarterback. I think Goff sucks. But if you're rebuilding,
but you got a quarterback.
You have a quarterback that's played in the Super Bowl and is somewhat a veteran. But I mean, for rebuilding wise, they got 2 first rounders and a third rounder now in the upcoming draft. The Rams only got Stafford straight up. That's it. So if I'm an LA Rams fan, I'm saying to myself, shit, we better win now because our future it's botched.
Yeah, well, I think that was the thinking behind it. Is honestly, aside from quarterback, they're a win now team. I think they would have went much farther in the playoffs if they had anybody else besides Jared Goff.
Honestly, yeah, I think the Rams beat the Super. I think the Rams would beat the Patriots if they had.
I'm putting money on them to go to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. When I go to AC, I'm putting money on them. That Matt Stafford is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league because he's on a garbage team. Mm-hmm. Now he has Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. He's got Cam Akers in the backfield when the other 3 running backs that they use all the time. Tyler Higbee, and then you have Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald on defense. That is a sick team.
Reynolds also very low key under the radar wide receiver. Reynolds.
That is a sick team.
Very, very under the radar, like low key good slot receiver.
Yeah, that's why when I first saw the trade, I considered it a win for both teams. Yes, I think the Lions got the better value, but the Rams still got one because they're a win now team. And my other thought about it, then if they don't win, then they're not going to win for a long time.
Yep.
And my other thought about it was they just, with how much they gave up for Stafford, what does this mean for whoever is going to trade for Watson? Because I think his value now just went up even higher. Because what did you say? The Rams gave away 2 first-round picks?
And a third-round pick this year. 2022, 2023 first-rounders, 2021 third-rounder, and Goff.
So they gave 2 first-rounders and a third-rounder for a very, very good quarterback. So now whoever is going for Watson, who is a generational quarterback, is going to give up a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting.
It's the Jets are going to give up pretty much the house if they go for Watson. Jets won't have a first-round pick because right off the bat, the Jets are probably going to give up the 2 and the 23rd. Mm-hmm. On top of probably more for Watson. So we'll see. I hope. I am okay with not drafting at all this year as a Jet fan and just picking up Watson and then going in the free agency to try to sign a receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, Watson is a generational talent. Like if you can get him, you do it. Mm-hmm. And he's not like he's 35. You get him.
100%.
So there's 2 things here going for and against the Jets. I think going for the Jets is that Watson, I'm pretty sure Watson has said he likes the Jets. He wants to go to the Jets. What's working against the Jets here is they have obviously a crap ton of picks to trade away. Mm-hmm. But if Houston's looking for players, they don't have much to give away. Because if they're looking for players, you can give Crowder, but I forget how old Crowder is, but I know he's not exactly young. As far as, that's kind of it. And then give up Darnold. Exactly.
Yeah, I would give.
I'm saying if Houston is asking for players, I know you would. They would anyway, because why would you keep them?
Yeah, there's no need. I'll trade you Darnold for a Happy Meal at McDonald's if you want.
But I do think I think he's gonna end up on the Jets still. But the Jets are not gonna draft in the first round till we're 40.
We will see as the draft gets closer. We're gonna if we don't have Watson by the draft, then it's pretty much under the impression that we're gonna probably continue to roll the dice with a quarterback who doesn't know how to play quarterback. As for quarterbacks who do know how to play the position, we have Aaron Rodgers in the back of a pickup truck drinking beer. That poor guy is so depressed. My man can't get back to the Super Bowl. And I feel like if you look on the internet, everyone is blaming him. And I just can't. I'm biased because I love Aaron Rodgers, but like that loss is not on Rodgers, man. Sure, he could have ran in like we discussed last week, but my God, his defense let him down.
Yeah, the whole team just sucked.
That poor guy. Do you know how depressed you have to be in the back of a pickup truck just being drove around drinking a case of beer?
I mean, I don't know. That sounds pretty great to me. That sounds like he's living a life.
I mean, I'm sure he is, but I just feel so bad for that man. Along with other quarterbacks that can play the position, Tom Brady. Are you ready for this stat, Andrew? Tom Brady's about to make history.
Hit me with
He's
it.
about to make history. I mean, granted, yeah, most Super Bowls, more. He's been in more Super Bowls than any other, teams pretty much combined. We get that. But here is a really cool stat that I saw from Tom Brady, and I'm not one to give any sort of like positivity to the man, but like I'll give credit where credit's due. As soon as Mahomes takes a snap, and then as soon as Brady takes a snap, they both have to take a snap, just one snap. Brady will be the first person in NFL history to play against 3 Super Bowl MVP quarterbacks in the same postseason.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and now Mahomes. As soon as they both take a snap, he will be the first person ever in history to play in one postseason against 3 Super Bowl MVPs.
That's crazy.
Wild.
That is wild.
Absolutely wild.
What a postseason.
What a postseason Brady's having with the Bucs. It's unbelievable.
It's gonna be such a good game.
It honestly, yeah. So I mean, we could probably dive into the Super Bowl now. I did say last week it's going to be a shorter podcast since last week was over an hour long. God bless you guys if you guys listened to that last week. But what are we thinking right now? The line is Chiefs -3. I think the over was like 56.
That sounds about right. I'm still taking the over.
I think it's a high scoring game. I mean,
I agree.
I would, if I'm the betting man, I'm taking the over probably. And my God, I want to bet the Chiefs, but like at the same time, I don't want to ruin anything. I want Mahomes to win. I want him to go back to back, baby. I mean, that's not even me. You could honestly, as much how much I love Aaron Rodgers. I think if it was Green Bay Chiefs, I would still be rooting for Mahomes and the Chiefs. And Rodgers is my favorite quarterback right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to see. I personally think Mahomes overall in his career will go down as the greatest quarterback of all time, personally speaking. And that's why I want to see him win as many rings as he can, as fast as he can, just so we can get off this Brady debate of those rings.
He definitely could. I just again, I've said it, I think, every week for the past month. I will never, ever, ever, ever bet against a playoff Tom Brady. I just can't do it.
It's hard to.
It is very hard to.
Man finds a way no matter what.
I do think this game comes down to the final drive. I think this game is going to finish with one team scoring a game-winning touchdown. One team's it's going to be like 43-37 or something wild.
Dude, if it's 43-37, what a hell of a game that's going to be.
Oh,
if it's that high scoring.
So, like, here's my comparison between. So, you take quarterbacks, Mahomes versus Brady.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling that a draw, and here's why. Currently, who is the more athletic quarterback is Mahomes. Then you have the seasoned, smarter, just because he's seasoned, quarterback in Brady. So I'm calling that a draw. The running game, I'm giving to the Bucs. I don't know what Clyde's health status is, and the Chiefs don't really run the ball too much either. Wide receiver, I'm giving to the Bucs. Tight end, I'm giving to the Chiefs. The Bucs are a more complete team with wide receivers, but since Travis Kelce is a tight end, I'm giving wide receiver to the Bucs. If you put up Evans, Godwin, and Brown, that is a better receiving core than Hill, Watkins, and whoever the hell else, Hardman.
I would disagree with wide receiver, and only for the fact that one, AB isn't playing.
Did they say he's definitely not playing?
AB is not playing in the Super Bowl. 2, Evans and Godwin have dropped so many balls. They are just their hands are made of bricks right now. and the Chiefs have between Watkins, Hill, and Hardman the fastest three receivers in the game that corners are gonna have to run with. So with an arm, the stronger arm of Mahomes over Brady, I would give receivers to the Chiefs. Other than that, I agree with what you just said.
Then I'm giving obviously tight end to what's it called, the Chiefs, and then I'm not even factoring defense.
Defense is going to be the Bucs. The Bucs have the better defense. I mean, we're going to call a spade here. I mean, if the Bucs can establish a run with Fournette and Jones, I think they'll be pretty good. The Chiefs as well have to establish a run game. They're obviously the pass first, but I mean you can't just straight up go into pass only. The Chiefs need to figure out how to establish some sort of run game. If you start getting Patrick Mahomes into play action, he's going to start destroying the Bucs defense.
Because you don't want to lose to Tom Brady in time on the field. You need to beat him in time on the field.
Mm-hmm. No, the Chiefs need to take a lot of time off the clock, and Chiefs need very long drives and to end them with touchdowns.
Exactly. Because the Bucs with especially with the way Leonard Fournette's been playing, they're gonna have some long drives. So KC does need to come back with that.
And that's the biggest thing. If the Bucs can establish the run, Kansas City is definitely prone to the run. They need to. That would be my defensive focus if I'm Andy Reid. But we need to stop Fournette. I wouldn't even worry about Tom Brady throwing, honestly, because Tom Brady, no matter how good your defense is, Tom Brady's going to find an opening in your defense somewhere. So regardless of how hard you train,
stop the run. Yeah,
Tom Brady's gonna pick you apart in some way or another. He's gonna find the hole in the coverage somewhere down the line, and you can. It's only a matter of time of how long you could hold receivers like Evans and Godwin's. So if I'm the Chiefs, man, I mean personally, defense wise, it's on both sides. It'll come down to the line. Not even the backfield.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Chiefs can get past the O-line and pressure Brady can't move.
Yep.
If you rush Brady, he's not going to be anything good. I mean, granted, if you rush Mahomes, at least Mahomes can run. And, I mean, he is dangerous on the run, but it's still, given that less sense of security, the line on both sides of defense is going to play a key factor as well.
Because then I think the Bucs have to play a very Patriot way of defense, and what I mean by that is a bend but not break defense. Just don't get beat big. If you can keep them in the red zone, and then it's much harder when you have that much less space for someone like Tyreek Hill to beat you. If they can play that kind of defense, that's huge for them. If they're going to keep getting beat for 50-yard bombs, then they got no shot.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to be
red zone. Tyreek Hill isn't even your priority, though.
Yeah, exactly. You got to stop Travis Kelce.
It's Kelce in the red zone. Red zone, you are looking at one man, and that's number 87.
Yep.
Travis Kelce will kill you. He is. Do you think Gronk gets more touches in the Super Bowl? He has been very quiet all year.
I don't think so. Unless you see a bad showing from Godwin and Evans to start. If you see a couple drop passes, then I think he starts looking at Gronk and Scotty Miller. Now, with Brown not playing, Scotty Miller, low-key is nice. You could see something big from him. But I don't think Gronk gets more, maybe a little more, but nothing drastic.
Respectable. Do you, I feel like I'm gonna know your answer, Andrew, but who are you taking for the Super Bowl win?
Taking the Bucs.
Taking the Bucs. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, brother. And we're gonna close it on that note. You have any last parting words to say about the Super Bowl and?
Let's get drunk and eat some apps.
No, the only thing I have to say is Patrick Mahomes, please do not give Brady a 7th. It's up to you.
And then
brother.
kiss it goodbye until draft
season in August. It is up to you, brother. Yeah, the Super Bowl is one of the most exciting times of the year, one of the best games to watch, and then after it's over, it's the most depressing time. I mean, granted, you have baseball coming up and you have hockey, but it's nothing like football. Football.
This is why I'm grateful that football is not my number one sport because it ends and I'm just like, okay, hockey's on and baseball's coming. I'm cool.
No, that's definitely my number one sport. I live. Sundays are like, it's like a religion. You don't bother me on a Sunday. I'm watching everything. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Definitely a shorter podcast this week. Not much has really been going down. We'll have a lot of Super Bowl coverage next week. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. We upload every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Throw a like. Comment down below on who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. If you're listening to wherever you listen to podcasts, please give us a 5-star review. If we see it, we'll give you a nice little shout out. Other than that, until next week, guys.
Deuces.
Peace out.
Yeah.